Come on in. Hello. How are we doing? Hi, Connie. Hi. How are you? I beat you to it. Thank you. Thank you so much. I just did it yesterday. Hi, Susan. I'm so good. I'm happy to be live. Happy to be able to have a chit chat with y'all. Hi, Megan.
Hi guys.
This is Sweet Gracie. Oh, you feel like you'll have a fever. Hello. Hi. Hello.
Mom, doesn't two races equal one? I mean,
Sure, baby.
races.
I love you.
Love you.
Welcome in, you guys. Let me do a givey. We'll do a giveaway. $5 Starbucks gift card. Go ahead and enter the giveaway. Yes, I thrifted those for her. She's not feeling super well. We've kind of been struggling with her throat and her tonsils lately. And so she keeps getting like red bumps all over her tonsils, and she'll get super congested and it'll like come back every 3 weeks. It's very sad. Welcome in, you guys. Welcome in. For those of you who are new, I normally do Q&As. It's been a while since I have done. Yes. Holly, your photo, are you in Vegas? Where are you? You look absolutely stunning. Hi, friends. Come on in. Enter the giveaway. We're just going to have a chill chit chat. If anyone has any questions, y'all can post them below. I just like to do these types of lives to help you guys, or we can just have a community chat and just enjoy each other's company. I haven't done a Q&A in months. Oh, okay. Oh, wow. I love it. Was it fun? You looked beautiful. So enter the giveaway, you guys. There is a $5 Starbucks gift card running right now. And yeah, I'm like coming off a high from my show last night. I could hardly sleep. I was so excited. Oh, I love it. It was so amazing. I was blown away. You guys it was iconic. It really was. I'm making a reel about it. Hi, Jocelyn. Hi, Abby. Welcome in, guys. Enter the giveaway. There's a $5 Starbucks gift card running. And yeah, we're just gonna have a chit chat. I thought I would just kind of go, maybe tell you guys how I started reselling, kind of go into like my backstory. I know. I will have a reel. I will have a reel posted later this evening about it. So it was amazing. I happened to find a very highly valuable vintage piece, and I had no idea. Everyone kept coming in asking me about the jacket on the rack, and they were like, they were saying the name, I forget what the name was, but yeah, it sold for $407. I cried. I was like so moved. I was so moved. It was amazing. Yeah, Style Battle Zoe, she bought it. It was nuts. But yeah, I'm going to make a reel on that. If you guys want to follow me on Instagram, my Instagram handle is the same as my handle here on Whatnot. Welcome in, you guys. Enter the giveaway. There's a $5 Starbucks gift card running. And yeah, I feel like I should just kind of tell you guys a little backstory. Um, there's so much to my story, but I'll just kind of go over how I started reselling, why I started, and kind of our journey. Hi, how are you, Angel? And kind of my journey into live selling. And if y'all don't want to listen, y'all can leave. I'm just kidding. I know. It was the Lord who blessed me. My hair, I need to do a better job at blending these areas. I am going to tone it. I might tone it tomorrow. It's just a bit brassy, but I really like it. I've never been this blonde before, actually, but Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you. Yes. If you want to enter the Starbucks gift card giveaway, it has 45 seconds. So, oh, thank you so much, North Arc Things. Thank you so much. Y'all are, I feel like Whatnot has truly led me to like accepting and being happy with who I am because I can't lie to you guys, like I could go on camera and pretend to be someone else. Oh, thank you so much, Abby. Um, and I feel like Whatnot has really just given me confidence in who God made me to be. And like as silly as it sounds, I feel like I was made to sell clothing on a live auction platform. It's awesome. Okay, who's gonna win? Who's gonna get it? Ooh, Green Mountain Gold. You got a $5 Starbucks gift card. If you will send me your email, just message me your email, I would be so grateful. That way I can just email it to you and you can get it. I'll probably email it to you after. Hi, Chris. So yeah, I started reselling 5.5 years ago. I was actually almost arrested. Your Christian woman was almost arrested. And it was for, I had missed a court date for an unsettled debt that I had in my previous marriage. And so a police officer showed up at my door and he was like, "You're either going to pay the $400 or we are going to take you to jail. Like, I'm going to handcuff you, put you in the back of my vehicle, and take you to jail." I was like feeding Gracie dinner, and he was like, "You missed your court date." And so we literally have, since Steven and I got together, money was something that we always struggled with. Like, there just was never enough. Thank you so much, Jess. There was just that shortage, of always not having enough money. Hi, Mel. Hi, Ashley. Welcome in. I'm just kind of going over my backstory of how I got into reselling. Hi, Abby. I won't be at church today, clearly. Holly, thank you so much. You're so sweet. I haven't even helped you in any way. Thank you so much. All tips are gonna go towards you guys. We have $140 towards our vehicle. Y'all tipped us $140 last night. All tips are gonna help us purchase a $5,000 family vehicle. So, since Steven and I have been together, we have been broke. Broke. Steven worked in corporate America. He was a sales coach for a sales team that sold TV, phone, and internet. He had over 50 agents, and they would constantly lower his pay. So they'd change his commission structure. Thank you. I love you, Holly. Thank you. Um, and so we were constantly like struggling to get ahead. And when the police officer showed up, we had saved $400 for rent. It was like the first time we ever were able to save, and we had to pay it to a police officer. We had to pay it in cash. So Stephen had to go to the ATM while the police officer stood in my front doorway waiting for him to come back. I was just like, it was the lowest of lows. Like, we were just in a deep, deep low. Hi, Lauren. Welcome in, you guys. I'm just going over my backstory. Oh, why was there a police officer? I had missed a court date for an unsettled dental bill, and they were suing me. And when you get a divorce, a lot of times these debt collectors will go after you, because they know that you're dividing your assets. And so they can come and kind of just shark you and make you pay your debt. So I had missed the court date, but I missed it divinely. I had it on the calendar. When you just miss things and you're like, that was totally divine. Like, things happen and you're just like, that was so divine. So I ended up missing the court date. We had to pay the $400. The police officer left, and we were so mad. Like, the amount of frustration and anger that we felt was, it was intense because we were so fed up with just trying to get ahead, and then something would come in and take it. So, in our frustration, like literally tears running down our face, Stephen was like, I have a solution. I watched this video of Gary Vee. Anyone know who Gary Vee is? Gary Vaynerchuk? Um, we watched this video of Gary Vaynerchuk flipping mugs. Yeah, of course you would, Chris. That's why we're friends. That's why we're friends. Um, and he was flipping mugs on eBay. He was going to garage sales, picking up Matchbox cars. Me too. Funky little studio. Hi. Long time no see. Are you still selling? You should. I hope you are. Um, and so we took off running. We had like $150 on a credit card, and I immediately hit the ground running, going to the regular Goodwill and the DI, and um I was picking up mugs, I was picking up dishes, and we started selling on eBay. We just started. Okay, wonderful. It's so good to see you. I've missed you. I've been like, man, what happened to Funky Little Studio? I'm glad you're back. Welcome in, you guys. I'm just giving a little backstory of how I got into reselling. And so we started flipping mugs. Thank you so much. Thank you. Green Mountain Gold. I appreciate you. Um, Send me your email. Didn't you win the giveaway? Send me your email so I can send you the $5 Starbucks gift card. It's gonna come from my husband, Stephen Bruff. A lot of people are like, I don't see the gift card because they think it's gonna come from me. Anyways, so we started flipping mugs and we started flipping stuffed animals, and I started listening to eBay. And back then, eBay would take their fees out at the end of the month. So when you'd make a sale, they wouldn't take your your fee out until the end of the month. Well, we struggled with having money at the end of the month, so we had to stop selling on eBay. Hi, Zoe. You guys, Style Battles was the one that purchased that jacket last night for $407. Amazing. So we started flipping hard goods, and we realized very quickly, as we lived in this like 1940s little bungalow. Yeah, she's amazing. Style Battles, thank you so much. I'm so grateful for you. That was like so epic. People sent me so many video recordings, and watching it, I'm just like blown away. Y'all are the best. So I am gonna do a reel about that. Hi, stylish treasures. So I realized, like, I can't store all of these items. I have to have something that is easy to store, easy to flip. And I came across the YouTube channel Empty Hanger. Do any of you guys know who Empty Hanger is? Her name is Jenna. um she has like 60,000 plus Instagram followers. She had a big YouTube channel, Priscilla. Yes, she's amazing. And so I literally replicated her business model. She's very detail oriented. She had a great inventory system, and she was selling anthropology brands. So I was learning all of these anthropology brands because that's what I was selling. I was selling modern women's. So about a year and a half into our, no, it probably wasn't even that long. It was probably like 6 months. 6 months into my reselling journey of selling clothes, um, I was selling mainly on Poshmark. Poshmark was our bread and butter for almost like 2.5 years. So we didn't sell on any other platforms but Poshmark for 2.5 years. And it was during the time when you had to share your closet a lot. So we were listing, Stephen and I were listing anywhere from 40 to 100 items a day. A day. We were hustling our booties off. We just wanted to be financially free and set Steven free of his corporate job. So yeah, it was a lot. It was so much. So we ended up, I ended up finding these 1980s velvet slip-ons, and they had like embroidered Christmas trees and embroidered teddy bears all over them. And the Holy Spirit was just like, you need to get those and you need to list them on Poshmark. And like at the time, no one was featuring vintage on Poshmark. Yes, I would love that. Yes, yes, yes. You guys follow, like each other, and share your shows. You anyone have any shows coming up you want to share? We can all bookmark. We can do a bookmark trade. Train. Hi, how are you? So I ended up listing these embroidered 80s slip-ons Christmas, and it was like October, so it was like right before the Christmas season. They were listed for literally 2 minutes and someone bought them for full price at $32. And that was when my vintage bell went off. Yes, thank you. Okay, I just did my first show last night. I have my second tomorrow. Courtney, love it. Courtney, what do you sell? Jackie Treasures in the Attic. Love your screen name. I have my first show Monday at 6:30 Eastern time. Women's size small to 3X. I love it. You have a show tonight. Okay, Zoe. I'm going to come support you. I love it. Thank you. You want to sell just scared. Don't be scared. It's so fun. Kids clothes. Oh my goodness. Okay, Courtney. First show tonight. Let's go, you guys. First show every 2 weeks, but this Thursday, 7:30 p.m. is my next show. I love it. I have a question. I'm using my phone for my camera, but I can't seem to pull up the shop on the laptop. How does that work? Jackie, if you go to the Whatnot website, they have a little help um like tab. If you click that, they have video breakdowns of how to use the Whatnot app. They're very detail oriented, they're super short. They'll be able to help you. You have a spring summer vintage tomorrow at 5:45. My daughter has her birthday show on Tuesday. She's going to do $1 starts on a $188 retail bag. Wow, that's awesome. Bookmark everyone. Do some bookmarks. So I ended up selling these vintage shoes, and I was like, I am going to do vintage. I'm going to pick up vintage. And so I started curating more and more vintage into my Poshmark. And as I was curating more vintage, I met this guy, he was like 20 years old at the bins, and he was like, you should sell on Depop. And I'm like, what's Depop? And so he showed me Depop. I put up a few listings. I was using a cross lister at the time. And so I just took listings from my Poshmark and put it onto Depop. I had my first sale like a couple weeks later, and it was a pair of vintage, like gorgeous lingerie booty shorts. They were just stunning. Someone paid $52 for these vintage underwear on Depop. So we started listing to Depop and Poshmark and then started listing to eBay. So at one point we had Etsy, Depop, Poshmark, and eBay all running at one time for several months. Um, we learned pretty quickly that simple scales and fancy fails. So if y'all are new to reselling, remember that. Keep it simple. You don't need to be super fancy. Like, I very rarely do anything to curate my show. Whatever I find is what I find. And if I put it on the rack and I see like a theme, then I'll do it. But if not, I don't put any effort into curating shows. I don't put any effort into giveaways. I don't put any effort into trying to like spice it up because simple scales, fancy fails. All right. So when we were listing to all four of these platforms, we were so overwhelmed. And so we realized, okay, eBay and Etsy are our main source. They were the ones that were winning with vintage. So we shut down Depop, we shut down Poshmark, and we went solely on eBay and Etsy. Etsy I have done a ton of sales on Etsy. It was probably one of my favorite platforms to sell on because the buyer on Etsy, they're willing to pay up for some amazing items. So we stuck with Etsy and eBay and we closed down our other two platforms. And within about 3 months, Etsy and eBay were doing so much more than all four platforms put together. So, if you guys know, previously when I was selling on Whatnot, I had 4 shows a week. I did, or 3 shows a week. This was before I was selling vintage kids. And this last 2 weeks, I have only done 2 shows a week. And by consolidating down to 2 shows, I have made more money than I would by doing 3 shows. So just remember simple scales, fancy fails. All right. Keep it simple. And when you're first starting out, you're you need to make sure that you have a structure and a design to your show. And you use that structure and design as your controllable win. So, in the beginning, when I first started reselling, I was an emotional wreck. Like, I was up and down. I was so disappointed that I had 6 people. I only made 2 sales. I was live for 3 hours and no one came in. It was just like this emotional roller coaster. So, my husband was like, you need a controllable win. You need a win that is controllable. And that changed everything for me because my controllable win was okay, in the beginning, I did 50 to 60 items. I did 10-second auctions and I went in order. I went through the rack. I loaded the store. Controllable wins have changed my whole mindset in live selling. Yes. I'm a new seller on women's clothes and kids. I started a couple months ago and took a break. Appreciate you sharing your story. Wonderful. I'm glad. I hope you come back. Come on and sell. And so, but having that controllable win changed everything because I was so apparent of this number. And in my mind and the way that I felt, it was like, I'm not winning. I'm not winning because I don't have 75 people in my show. And I'm not winning because I'm not making sales. So once I made um, a controllable win is a win or a metric that you believe is a win that you can control. So in the beginning, my controllable win was I'm going to run through each item and run it for 10 seconds. Okay. So I had 50 items. And if I went through every single one of those items and ran them for 10 seconds, that was my win. I won when I did that because you can't control this. That's why it's called an uncontrollable because you can't control how many people come into your show. You can't control how many people buy, and you can't control what an item goes for. So it's so important when you're first starting out that you do not look at this, not look at it. A lot of sellers, I know Priscilla especially, Priscilla would cover her viewership. So she put a little sticky note over how many people were in the room so that she wasn't building a habit of creating an attachment to the number, which I think is brilliant. Grow your grow your show without caring about how many people are in there. And you also need to remember, like, you weren't born with the ability to live sell. You know, it's like learning to play an instrument. You're not going to be good. You're going to sound terrible. And like, I think a lot of people are like, what's the shortcut? What's the shortcut to get to where you are? And I'm like, I did 5.5 years of reselling. I listed on multiple platforms for many years. I had over 7,000 items listed. I have over 12,000 sales on Whatnot. I am where I am because I did all of that work and I was willing to put my head down and not look at what everyone else was doing. Like, it really, really requires you to, when you're beginning, to be okay with sucking. to just be okay with it. But if you stick to it, you do it every day, you create your controllable wins, you will get better. You're going to get, it's inevitable. It's human nature. Anything that we practice, we get better at. Yes, consistency, basically, totally. It's a great idea. It gives me anxiety because it grows so slow, but love that it grows. Yes. And a lot of times that anxiety can come from the expectation of your win being on something you can't control. And what I mean by win, you guys, I'm realizing like maybe this isn't making sense. Um, what I mean by win is understanding that each show you need a metric that you can follow to let yourself off the hook and know that you did everything you could do to make the show great. So, if you're loading your store, if you're doing measurements, if you're, you know what I mean, like making sure that your processes are completely in order, and you make your controllable win something that's controllable. Would you suggest loading a store in the beginning? I go back and forth on loading a store or just using numbers and being basic. Simple scales, fancy fails. I don't load my store. I am not a store loader. I do not have time. I am a mom of six and I need to be able to just wash the items, hang them up. I do preload mystery pulls and the weight, but I just do 100 of each. And that way I am able to move super quickly in my show. I know that there are some people who greatly value having a loaded store. Like I know Millie does super well. Do you list on other platforms still? What is the number one listing platform for you? Thread of Hope. We do not, Whatnot is our bread and butter. Like we are going all in on Whatnot. We took all of our listings off from all other platforms because I'm just gonna be really frank with y'all. And this is only because we have a private reselling group, a coaching group, and we're talking about this in the coaching group. If you want to win at live sales, you cannot do anything else. If you want to win on Whatnot, like if you're truly looking at this and being like, I want to be a champion, I want to sell out my show, I want to have 100 people, like if you have ambitions to go really big with live selling, you will not be able to compete with someone like me who is 100% focused on live selling. Your sourcing is going to be way different on Whatnot. I get immediate feedback. So I do a show and I get immediate feedback. When you're listing to other platforms, an item may have sold for $120, but it may have sat in your inventory for 6 months. So it's the information becomes skewed. So if you're looking to go live, I would suggest to pick either you're a traditional reseller or you're a live reseller. This is just my opinion. I am in no way wanting you like do your own thing, but I'm very, Priscilla knows we are very passionate about if you're looking to go pro with live reselling, it can be your only focus because it gives you so much more intention and feedback and you're going to quickly move in your growth. But if you're listing to other platforms, you're not going to be able to like pinpoint sourcing. So I would say a huge amount of my success right now is because I keep a show journal and I remember and write down what items do super well. So if I have a $407 item, I write that down. Okay, noted. I'm going to look for that jacket every single time, you know? Yeah, data is everything. Let me read up here. Tatiana, I just had my first show last week and the shipping was a little confusing. I'm assuming that you need have your own shipping packages. Yeah, shipping, I will go over shipping in just a moment. Data is everything for me, and selling at markets was my biggest success. I just closed my Mercari. Let's go. Makes sense. You don't want to be, I think you meant scattered. Um, yeah. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. All tips are going to help us go purchase a $5,000 vehicle. We have never had a vehicle big enough for our blended family. And so we have the opportunity to purchase Stephen's parents' vehicle. So all tips are going to help us do that. We are currently at $140 of our goal, thanks to you guys. So very exciting. But yeah, if you're gonna compete as a live reseller, hi Madre, how are you? Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. If you're looking to go pro as a live reseller, you have to choose live reselling. You can't list, ship, store your inventory and then go live. You know what I mean? You're gonna mix and mingle intentions and it's gonna get messy. It's like when Steven and I realized like, okay, listing to Etsy, eBay, Poshmark, and Depop, not a very good idea. Items would sell on other platforms. Sometimes we couldn't find items, mistakes were happen. And so simple scales, fancy fails. So if you want to go pro, I would 100% put your intention into live reselling. I source my inventory, all of it from the bins. I go to the bins twice a week and I am there from 9 a.m. all the way to 6 p.m. And I just source and source and source. The DI is called the Deseret Industries, and it is a chain of thrift stores here in Utah that the LDS Church owns. So sometimes I do DI in regular Goodwill, but because my start is so low, I do have to be aware of how much I'm spending on inventory. I source 2 days a week. I source Tuesday and Wednesday, sometimes Thursday if I don't have enough. The bins, Roxy, the bins are the Goodwill outlets. It is these it's a huge warehouse. They have these blue bins that are plastic on wheels and they wheel them out into the warehouse and you dig through all of um, just randomness. It's blankets, it's towels, it's kids' clothes, it's women's clothes. There's no order. You're just digging through bins to find inventory. Our prices have gotten a yeah, that's the thing is like as a reseller, you got to get creative. You got to get that cost per piece as low as you can, but it's totally worth it. Is your name Mogi YouTube? No. No. I do love Mogi Beth though. She's amazing. Um she's so knowledgeable. She's been on YouTube for a long time. I learned a ton from her in my reselling journey, especially on Poshmark. Mhm. And sweating a lot. We do. I could totally see how you think that. Um, but I would definitely say if I were just starting out as a live reseller, this is what I would do and take it with it. Oh, thank you. Priscilla, I'm gonna make you a mod. All right. And you whenever you gotta go, no worries. I still haven't listened to your voice messages. Okay. I've got so much stuff. I get lost in all of my inventory because half is my own personal collection and the other half is for the market. Yeah. So, you guys, in this business, you have to have systems in order. It is so crucial to your success and just like mental clarity, you know? Like having a systematized uh, breakdown of everything that you do in your business is so important. So, what I would do, I'm popping threads. What I would do is, if I were you, I would figure out an inventory system that divides your personal belongings from your inventory. Unless you're selling your personal belongings, you need to identify what is inventory and what are you keeping, because you can't be both. You can't say I'm going to keep an item but I'm also going to sell it, because in your mind you're in the gray zone. Have any of you heard the gray zone? So we're actually going to be talking about this in our coaching call this Monday in our coaching group. um, but the gray zone is when you do not have find I'm on the gray zone. Yes, thank you, Jillian. How are you? Yes, you gotta separate the two. Deals for littles. Thank you so much. Um, Kinspins had a question about starting things at $1 to $2, starting out, and will that build a following? Okay, thank you so much. Kinspins. I love your screen name, by the way. Kinspins. If your cost per piece is more than $1 to $2, do not start your show at $1 to $2. I started my inventory when I first started selling on the app 18 months ago. I did $1 starts for over 6 months. And then I had a baby, had a 9-month hiatus, came back in June of last year, and I started doing $1 starts again. But I took all 7,000 of my items out of inventory, brought them home, and hung them up in a room in my basement. And I would go through the racks and sell them for $1. I was able to do that because I already made a profit on all of those clothes by selling on multiple platforms. So I was like, if it sold for $1, I was already making 43 cents, you know? So I like it's not necessary for you to start for $1 to $2. It helps. It helps. When I was starting out, $1 to $2 starts, my husband made it very clear. He was like, Jenica, the intention is not to make money. The intention is to accrue market valuable information and for you to build a customer base. If you do $1 starts over and over and over again, you're okay with it going for $1, you're going to have people that are going to come back. It's reciprocity. If they get a $1 item that they love, they are going to come back. They're going to come back 100%. So if you, in the beginning, my husband was like, this is, Susan, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate you guys. All tips are going to help me buy a family vehicle. All right. We're at $140 towards our $5,000 goal, and we're doing it. Yes, you're building a following and you're doing market research. So you got to look at it like this. When you are first starting out, you have to understand that anything you do in business, you're not going to be profitable in your first month. It's just not, that's just not how it works. So you have to get creative and kind of be like, okay, well, if I am going to essentially be putting money into this business, that's going to take a while for it to kick back money towards me. You got to get creative. So in the beginning, when I was selling $1 starts, my husband was just like, Jenica, this is market research. You're getting information, you're getting data, and through that data, you will, thank you so much. Minivan gang, let's go. Let's go. I wish. It's an SUV. I do want a van though. But we were essentially paying for a customer. We were putting money into our customers by giving them $1 starts. After every show, I would go over every single purchase and what bid up. I would keep a show journal. Let me go get my show journal. I'm just grabbing my journal. Okay. So, constantly reiterating your data is so important in this game. So, this is my show journal. Okay. I list what are my controllable wins for this show, and then I write them out. This one says start on time, no pushing time show. I'm getting better at that. I'm still working on it. And then positive highlights from the show. So positive highlights are here. Then it's what do you think could be improved? And then it is list your highest selling items here. So, and then on the back, I keep my data, I keep my numbers. So I take this. If I were first starting out, I would do a show journal. I would take it with me, sourcing, so that I could see, okay, my listed below high selling items was these items. So you start to understand by looking at the data of all of your shows what is working, what's selling, what's not selling. And you really got to look at this like a professional. You know what I mean? Like, Steven and I are in this game to win. Like, we want to be the best. And not in like a competitive way. Like, we want to be the best because by being the best, we glorify God. By us looking at our business and being like, how do we make this a godly business? You do your best. You have order, you have structure, you have systems, you are self aware. There are so many things in this game of live reselling that are so systematic. Like, you have to have systems in place, or else, like, your whole reselling journey can be so bogged down by all of these unopened or all of these unfinished products, all of these unfinished processes, because you don't have processes in place. And because of that, there's no beginning, middle, and end to sourcing. There's no beginning, middle, and end to shipping. There's no beginning, middle, and end to a live show. You have to define, like, okay, these are my steps. That I will read your questions in just a moment. I just want to finish my thought, and then I will scroll up and ask questions or and read them. But live reselling requires systems. All reselling, even if you're selling to other platforms, if you're selling on other platforms, the only way to win is through processes. Like, the only way that Steven and I got to 7,000 listings was because we were strategic with our time. We had two kids at home. We also had a blended family, so we have a switching schedule all the time. And he was working a corporate job. So we had to like delegate and use our time for max potency. And the only way you can do that is through systems. And then you refine your systems over time and you get rid of everything that is waste. Um, let me see. I'm on the other platform too. Can't figure out shopping on this one. King, which platform? Are you talking about Poshmark? I love that you write things on paper. I'm a paper person. Me too, Eiffel. Me too. Makes this worth our time. So true. I've been curating a pile of amazing true vintage kids. I can't leave at the bins when I see them. I'm sending you to. What? Are you for real, Holly? Thank you so much. What? Holly, you're amazing. You have seamlessly incorporated your beliefs in your business into one concept. You should be so proud. Wow, Kinsman, thank you so much. It wasn't always that way. I will say um that since okay, do you guys know who Kofi Vintage is? Do you guys know Priscilla? Priscilla is in our private coaching group. She When we first were promoting the private coaching group, she came to one of our like coaching calls that we were doing to just try and get the coaching system off the ground. And she and I just like hit it off. There was something about her that I knew the Lord was like, yes, she's Priscilla. Um, there was something about her that I knew the Lord was doing a work through our friendship and through knowing one another. And since meeting Priscilla and hearing her testimony, I feel like God has used her to like fuse my faith and believing in Jesus into my business. It was like she has had some amazing things happen to her, but also very difficult things happen to her. And the Lord had been preparing me for 2 years to be able to hear her testimony and truly, truly value it. And so, since meeting Priscilla, she is a vintage women seller. She goes all in. This girl knows her numbers. She has incredible systems in place. She's a mom of 3 little kids. Kinsbins, thank you so much. And there's just been something so divine happening in our coaching program where the majority of them are believers. And you don't have to be a believer to be a part of the group. Like, if you want to be a part of the group and you're not a believer, you're totally welcome. Oh, you did. I remember that. So I feel like it's taken me a minute to like understand that there is no separation between being a follower of Jesus and your business. I felt like for so long in the beginning of my family and I found Jesus in the peak of the pandemic. Um, and we we were deeply, deeply lost in New Age. And what I mean by New Age is like law of attraction and spiritual tarot cards and crystals and all of that. We were deep, deep into that for almost 7 years. And the Lord pulled us out of that in the height of the pandemic. And we realized that Jesus was real by realizing the darkness that is running rampant in this world. We were researching things like the global economy. We were researching things like Hollywood and the deep darkness of Hollywood, and all of these like just this deep darkness fell on our home with our children. Like things were happening to them that were so demonic and so dark that we woke up. Like he literally woke us up because of the darkness we were living in. And so, hi, Silky Slims. I've missed you. Welcome in, you guys. We're just doing a chit chat. And so when we found Jesus for the first 2 years, or for the first year, we didn't go to church. We didn't want to find a church. We grew up Mormon. We were deceived by the Mormon faith. Once we moved out of Mormonism, we moved into New Age. We were deceived by all the teachers in New Age. Then we found Jesus, and we were terrified of going to a church and finding a pastor that would lead us astray. So for over a year, we just read the Bible. That was the only thing that we did. And I'm still such an infant in Christianity and being a believer in Jesus. But meeting Priscilla, she is so rich in the Lord. Like she grew up as a pastor's kid. Her parents literally were missionaries to the people of Alaska, like straight up living in igloos type of stuff. Like they were, what was it, Priscilla? What are they called? Well, like Native Alaskans in like a tribe in Alaska, and they took their whole family out there to preach Jesus to the yes, the native people of Alaska. Okay? So like she has a rich, rich, rich understanding of the word of Jesus. And so just meeting her and like picking her brain has really helped me like fuse my business and my beliefs together, because that's what she does. That's what she does. So I when we found Jesus, we didn't go to church. And about a year after we were saved, Gracie, the Lord told us, you need to send Gracie to a private Christian school. She was headed to kindergarten. We ended up going to the only private Christian school in Utah. All of the other ones are all Christian, but they're Mormon. And so um, we ended up taking her to a private Christian school, and we ended up going to this Thanksgiving dinner. It was like a Thanksgiving play that the kids were doing, and we ended up meeting a couple of the parents who were in Gracie's class. And it ended up being a couple, their names are Chris and Arlena, and they are now our head pastors. So we met our church through Gracie's school. Once we started going to church, I realized like how deep the idea of works, like a works-based religion, was instilled in me from growing up in the LDS church, in the LDS faith. And so, for the first year of attending church, I struggled with bringing Jesus into my personal life. I would encounter him at church, but I struggled with like incorporating him into my life. It felt like going to church was the only place that I could encounter him. And don't get me wrong, I definitely encountered him, but in my mind it was so hard for me to like bring those two together. And I feel like this past year I have really just understood what Jesus purchased, and that there's nothing we can do to be worthy of what he did for us. And a lot of times as a non-believer, some things are very, very difficult for me going to a Christian um, denominational church because the t Priscilla was telling me that there's, like, these phrases that's called Christianese. So, like, there's a language that Christians who have grown up as Christians speak, and they speak it so frequently, but someone like me who didn't know Jesus, the true Jesus, when they say these things like, "Jesus saved you. Jesus died on the cross because he loves you." What does that mean? To me, that these are the questions that I'm asking, like, "He saved me? Like, why am I a sinner? I don't get it. I don't" you know? So, I feel like this past season has been this fusion of understanding that Holy Spirit and my business can work together, and actually, when you do that, your outcome is so much more rich because it's the Lord's outcome. Like this past, m- since meeting Priscilla, I have just like given the Lord my business, just been like, Lord, whatever I find sourcing, this is my offering, and I'm putting it on the altar. And this is what I have to offer. And whatever the outcome is, I give it to you and let it glorify you. Even if I make one sale, it's for you. So I ended up these past like month and a half working with Priscilla. She's in our private coaching group, and just like all of us working together in the group, seeing the changes that are being made because people are leading a spirit-led business is so exciting. And honestly, I feel like the business marketplace is lacking um the trueness of Jesus. And I think a lot of times, like if we can incorporate that into our business, God is a God of order. God is a creator. God is exceptional, and he loves order. And so I'm going to incorporate order into my business. I'm going to put systems in place that are going to help my business grow exponentially. So I would say if I was just starting out as a reseller, like as a live reseller, I would um if you desire to preload your store and you have the time to do it, I would preload your store. I would put uh, a detailed title, one photo, and I would put measurements in the description. Uh, One thing you should be aware of when you are preloading or running a show is you need to understand buyer resistance. So when you have people viewing your show and you are trying to sell them something, they have a resistance to buying. And you, as the seller, have to do everything you can to provide all the information they need to make a purchase. So if you, yeah, she is big. But it works. That's the thing. It's like you have to design it for what works for you. But I'm just saying in the beginning, if you're just starting out, to have order and to make sure you have all of the information a buyer needs to purchase, you're going to turn over customers much faster. So imagine, buyers having a resistance up here. If you have a detailed title, there it's going to go down. Oh, you have all the measurements? Perfect. It's going to go down. Oh, I know what color and the fabric and all that. That's why in my shows, I show the tag, I show the size, I show the fabric content, and then I show the item. I show details and then I show the back. Providing all of the information is so, so necessary for your buyer to make a purchase. But if you're going live, your store isn't loaded, you're not showing the tag, you're not showing details, you're just like, do you want this? Do you want this? You're not going to have enough information for your buyer to trust you and to make a purchase. I needed to hear this. Thank you. You're still new. I love it. Art of the Muse. You're so welcome. Yes, don't make them work for info. So true. It builds trust between you and the buyer. So true. I love how you run your shows. Definitely going to try and do the same. Yes, and like anything that I do, you guys take it. So many people use rapid fire. I believe that Boombox Travis, he's a seller on here. He's one of my freaking favorite humans. And he, when I first came back to Whatnot, he would mod for me and he coined the end of my show, which is rapid fire. So in my show, I run the show in the order of the rack. I do mystery pulls. If someone wants me to run the item, they'll write run in the chat. If no one says run, I will put it back on the rack. And after I've run through all of the items, I will do what's called rapid fire. So I will take all the items that did not sell and I will put it on my hanging rack. I'll put like 5 or 6 items on my hanging rack and I quickly go through. I don't do the same like showing, trying to sell the item. I just show them the information, the tag, the front, the back, give them the size. If they want it, they'll type run and then I will immediately run the item. So it's called rapid fire because we're just rapidly going through what didn't sell in the beginning of the show. Um, and so as I have done that, my rapid fire part of my show tends to be like the most successful part of my show where I just rapidly sell items so quickly. So incorporating rapid fire is a really good controllable win. Thank you so much for joining. Welcome in. We're just giving tips and tricks. Thrift and Mom, if you want to do, um, Julianne says some people don't want to ask questions in chat. Yes, and feel obligated to buy. So true. My preloaded shows always do better than mystery pulls. Love it, Susan. Um, Okay, sometimes we like to see everything you have first. So true. Do you weigh every item? Hi, welcome in, Harmony Ray. Welcome, welcome. Yes, a runner pass type of thing. I have tried multiple different things. I've loaded my store, I've run each item, I've tried multiple different things, and this is just what works with my personality, the structure of my show, and my personal life. Like, I have to be able to go live twice a week, but I'm also a mom, I'm also sourcing, I'm also, so like this is the best balance for my life. Do I weigh every item? No. I've been doing this long enough. Listing to eBay, Etsy, and Poshmark, I weighed every single item because you have to put the weight in for shipping into each listing. So I learned very quickly after over 7,000 listings or 7,000 items, even more than that, like tens of thousands of items I've weighed. I just know what it is. And also, like, Whatnot gives you a pretty good leeway. So 4 to 7 ounces, you have 3 ounces to kind of be like, it could or it couldn't. Have you ever sold paintings or canvases? What would you recommend for packaging large canvases? Um, I have not. I used to work at a place called a mail center. We did like USPS, FedEx, UPS, we did copies. And so we would get like the oddball shipping situation, but I would find a box that um, would fit it quite snug, but enough to put like some filler in between. Something you could easily custom order a box. You can even go to a UPS store, or you can go to a FedEx store and have them do it, you know? You would just pay for the shipping supplies and for the labor. You wouldn't have them actually mail it because you already have, the label. Uline. What's Uline? I don't know what that is. So I don't like asking starting bid. I want to know what the price will be when I first see the item. Yes, either in store, all the same starting bid, and right when it's shown. Yes, Amy, that's a really good point. And also, like, instead, do market research, go into other people's shows, take aspects of other people's shows that you're like, I like that. Okay, I'm going to incorporate that into my show. Like anything that I do, feel free to take it. Like it's, we literally, you guys, we are at the very beginning of live selling. Like this is like YouTube before YouTube was a thing. Like we are about to take the wave of live selling. It has not even hit the USA. In I think it's Japan or China, the market has grown by billions in a year. Like live reselling is huge and we're just at the beginning of this. We are just at the beginning. And right now it's like Airbnb where you can put up a room in your garage that has a bed in it and they'll book a room, they'll book it with you. But now that Airbnb is has caught fire and people know the app and the quality, the buyer becomes more sophisticated. So if you're selling live, you got to get that system and that order in place now, because you're not going to, not anyone can sell on the app and make money. It's going to, the level of the buyer and its sophistication is going to rise the more people find out about live selling. So to put a system in place now and to constantly cycle through understanding your process is so, so important. Thank you so much for sharing my life, you guys. Um, is so, so important. Like, I can't even tell you how crucial it is to my success, my show journal, going over, um, watching my film. As soon as I'm off of my live, the next morning, I'm watching that live back over. Yeah, $600 billion industry. You guys, this is America. We are all addicted to our phone. When this catches fire, it's gonna take off. So taking it seriously now is so important to your success when this does take off. Preparedness is so important. To be prepared for opportunity, you gotta be prepared. My husband gives an example of like a lot of people want 100 people in their show. They just want the viewerships, they want the sale. But he's like, what happens? And I see it time and time again where a new seller receives 50 to 60 people in a raid and they were at like 14. Within 5 minutes, they're at 14 again. So just because you get handed a bunch of buyers doesn't mean that they're going to stick, because you have to have your order. You have to have your process. You have to know what you're doing and why you're doing it. You have to give yourself the opportunity to absorb those buyers because you have a process. We are being marketed by these phones from the time we wake up to the time we go to bed. Amen. Amen. So, I would say like my biggest advice is just understanding the beginning, middle, and end to your show and having controllable wins, making sure you're picking things that are going to help you sustainably grow instead of what I did, this emotional roller coaster for so long because I didn't understand that I can't control this number. I can't control what the item sells for, and I can't control so many things in my business, and it's literally unrealistic and unfair to myself to be like my show's a win because I have 40 people in here. That's, it is important to look at the numbers. It's very important, but it's more important for you not to base the health of your business on these numbers because you can't control them. So, yeah, I think my rant is over. Do you guys have any questions? Other questions that I can answer? Man, I always make a coffee. I drink like 2 sips and then it's 3:30 and I can't drink anymore. I'm like, I'm such a coffee waster. Some of my best shows for sales had not many in chat. It's so true, Susan. The number of people in your chat is literally, it implies nothing to making money. Nothing. When I go live, I have said my new baseline is like 70 people. You know, sometimes it'll go up to 100, sometimes it'll go to 120 if I'm running a giveaway. But like my baseline for my Vintage Women show is 70 people. And I believe that 70% of those 70 people are literally just watching. They're not buying. Only 30% of the people in there, it's probably even smaller than that, are actually swiping. When I first started, when I first started on Whatnot, I did a show where I grabbed all of my banger items that I had listed on eBay. I put them all on a rack. I had 6 people in my show, and 3 of them were bidding against each other. I had a 1920s 100% silk lingerie romper. They bid it up to $82 with 6 people in the live, and there were 3 of them who were bidding. So don't think that just because this number is growing that means you're going to make money. And also the other way around, just because like you can, so many people watch me for entertainment. They want to be entertained. And like the last 3 shows, I've had someone, at least one person say, I love watching your show. You're so easy to listen to. And in my mind, I'm like, that's crazy. I love that. I love that you're just like, I want to come and I want to watch. I don't want to buy, you know? But also, there has been a study that I think I think it's something like a person has to spend 7 or have 7 impressions or 7 hours of meeting with you before they buy from you. Something like that. If my husband were here, he would know. Um, so you don't know who's been watching your show for months on end and they become a buyer because you're consistent, you're giving the information to lower the buyer's resistance, and they know what to expect. A lot of people don't want to buy from someone they don't know, that they don't like, and that they don't trust. So know, like, and trust. Those are the things that people need to make a purchase. Sometimes I just open mail or share a thrift haul, but not sell. I love it. It's so important to like nurture that community. And I'm so grateful to be able to do a Q&A today. Yes, a watcher will become a buyer eventually. And I've had people message me after my show being like, I've been watching you since April, or I've been watching you since December, and it was my first time buying. Thank you so much for this amazing item. And it's really, really cool to put in the effort and see the business grow, like to physically see the numbers. If you're in the reselling game, any reselling game, and you're not tracking your numbers, it's like shooting in the dark. When I first started reselling, my husband would do all the numbers manually. And so I didn't have any concept as to what was actually happening in our business. So I would like walk around all day with this like heaviness on me of like, things aren't going the way that they should. Things aren't going the way that they should. It's not growing. It's this, it's that. That item didn't sell. I lost this item. Just like bogged down by all of this like negativity that was just walking around with me. And my husband would be like, "You need to sit down and you need to look at the numbers because if you look at the numbers, you're doing better than you were the month before." So it's so important and so crucial to know your numbers. I've been chatting with people for so long in other shows and in mine. I'm always surprised to see that it's their first purchase when I do a show. Yes, Harmony, I've experienced that as well. Very cool. And that's what you want. Yes. You got a good husband. You got a good husband. Like, it's so important to know your numbers because if you don't, your emotions will be the caliber of your success. So you will think that your business isn't doing well, or you'll think your business is doing well and it's not actually doing well. So, like we've coached people over the years with live selling and well, over these past 18 months. And we had one person who did not there's just some people in the game who don't want to know the information. They don't want to take the time to do it. They just want to be seen and heard and valued more than they want their business to grow. And those people they're not going to win because versus like Priscilla or me or Susan or people who are actually like looking at the numbers, you're going to have such a higher edge on someone else. What I the mentality of my show is it's a show. Like I'm putting on a show. And yesterday I realized like by changing my hair and by like putting effort into what I look like and putting effort into consistently improving my inventory and my sourcing, I realized last night after ending my show, the Lord was like, it's a show. Like, treat it like a show. You're not just popping on and being like, let's sell some stuff. No, like, you have a beginning, a middle, and an end. And yes, let's do it, baby. Let's do it. Let's do it. You're going to love it. And you have beautiful items. You're going to love it. I totally appreciate you did that all the way to the end. Yeah, like if that's how my show, that's how it will always go. No matter if I have a $407 sale at the end of all my inventory I've already shown, I'm still going to show the last of the items because rapid fire is where I make my most where I sell the most in the least amount of time. And so I look forward to rapid fire because I'm like I get to reiterate. And sometimes I'm excited when a good item doesn't sell. So that at rapid fire, when people come in and they've never been there before, and I pull up this killer item, it's like just it adds momentum to the end of the show. And so I'm going to be taking my show way more seriously. Like I'm going to get dressed up. It's a performance. And by the time I'm done, you guys, I will turn on worship music a lot of times after I'm done and just sing my heart out. And my voice is getting so strong and just I'm able to sing notes that I wouldn't otherwise be able to sing because I'm talking. Steven's like, did you know that you talk for 6 hours straight? And it took me a minute to be like, wow, that's kind of crazy. And because I watch my film back and because I keep a show journal, I realize I cut out I cut out the word because I I've been doing this long enough that I know what to cut out. Like right now, I need to cut out also and I need to cut out love. I say love. Oh my gosh, I love. I need to constantly be um just stoking the fire of watching my film back and getting feedback from it and just continually reiterating that because that's how you're going to win. How do you build stamina for so many hours? Um, Harry and William, what is your name? I'm so sorry. It's so beautiful and I know I forget. I forget what your name is, but um I built the momentum because when I was doing $1 starts, I was 6 months pregnant, and I was doing anywhere from 8 to 12-hour shows pregnant because people were buying, and my husband would bring me food, I would go to the bathroom while still alive, like, I I before I found Jesus, I didn't understand that I didn't have to work so hard. Like, my husband and I just like hustled ourselves into fatigue and exhaustion, and we just work. We would get up and work. We would go to sleep and work, and like it was just this constant hustle. But in that, I did receive the value of being able to have high stamina. So by the time my show is done, I'm like, let's go. I'm warmed up, you know? And my husband's like, it's time to go to bed. It's time to chill out. I'm like, you got this. Best way to gain followers, go live. The end. The only way to get people to follow you is to show your face. They're not going to follow you if you're not on the app. So, in order to gain followers, the best way to do it is one, at least do one giveaway and have the requirement be to enter that they have to follow you. That's why I do one giveaway. I'm doing two now, which I really enjoy doing my second giveaway because it gives me a moment to pause and reflect. And also, it gives me a moment to connect with my audience in the middle of the show. And I get more followers, so I went from 6 to 7,000. I went from 6, like 6,900 to 1,000 just from 2 giveaways. So, what about giveaways? What's your thought? I would say, so when I first started selling on Whatnot, um, the algorithm was that if you ran a giveaway, they would shove people into your show. So people would run giveaways for, when you run a giveaway, it will say like, oh, you only have 5 minutes for this giveaway. Before, you could run a giveaway for an hour and get people to log into the giveaway. So now they have a shorter time window, but you can utilize giveaways, but like, this is why it's so important to know the flow of your show. If I'm on a, so there's no interruption in my show. I'm not gonna, I don't do buyer giveaways. I feel like buyer giveaways, it takes the buyer from a buyer mindset into a free mindset. And you want to keep them in that buyer mindset because you want them to continue to purchase. But if you're like, okay, in 5 sales, we're gonna do a buyer's givey, you're like messing with the flow of what mindset they are in, and you're putting them in a different mindset. So I don't use buyer giveaways because I feel like it ruins the flow of my show and it moves them out of a buyer mindset. I do a giveaway in the beginning of my show because it takes me a minute to like really kind of get into the groove of things. By like hour and a half, I'm primed. I'm like, okay, we're moving. We got this, you know? Um, so knowing the flow of your show is very important, but I would not heavily incorporate giveaways. It is not super valuable. I feel like a lot of times people will do giveaways and there are giveaway hunters, like people just want the giveaway and then you'll see all the people leave. So I wouldn't put too much weight into giveaways other than maybe doing it at the beginning or somewhere in your show that is suitable for a giveaway. Priscilla, what did you not think about? Fardia. Okay. Fardia. Beautiful. Do you do this full time? Yes, Eliza. I do this full time. My husband quit his 6-figure corporate job to run Whatnot with me. This has been a goal that we've been working towards for over 5 years. And last October, he was able to quit his job. And it's been the most amazing thing ever, ever. Hi, Amanda. I'm planning to do 5 giveaways in 3 hours, and it will be 5 items, one of the items per giveaway of the clothing I'm wearing. Um, like I said, I feel like, oh, talking for 6 hours straight, yeah. Like I said, I feel like a lot of sellers on Whatnot, they get fancy. They want to get fancy. And for me, just from my data, fancy fails. Like the more creativity you're putting into it, the more, like, especially if you're just starting out, I will 100% do 50 items, and um I would do 50 items and I would run through the rack, and then I would do rapid fire. That's what I would do. I would do one giveaway in the beginning. You have to, a lot of times, also, a giveaway will ruin the flow for yourself. So it'll, like, we don't really know what to do when the giveaway is running because we don't have the system and the experience and the hours live to be able to sustain that many giveaways. So, in my personal opinion, I wouldn't do that, especially if you're just starting out. I would focus on the basics. And I know that sounds so boring, and I know that's not like a sexy answer, but I think that the less creative, the better. The more cohesive you are with your process and your items, the better. People come to my show because they know what to expect. They know the starting bid. I give all of the information they need to purchase, and it's a show, but the only reason why I've gotten here is because I put in the baseline work of showing up, doing a live, and doing it in my systematic order, no matter what, no matter how many people show up. Hi, Cass. How are you? That's so awesome. Good for you guys. Thank you so much. I always try to have a raid giveaway ready. Yeah, that's a good idea. Always new people that probably haven't seen me before. So, Julian, when I first when raid trains like first started happening, I would do that. I would do a giveaway. Um, but I realized as I designed my show from beginning, middle to end, I doing a giveaway in the middle of my show was so disruptive. So you want to be mindful of where people are at. Now, if you're like a super chill seller and you're not like trying to become, a pro at this, like, heck yeah, do a giveaway. Do what feels good to you. But for me, I want to win, and I want to get better, and I want to focus on getting better. Um does Whatnot provide everything you need financially, or do you have to supplement with other side hustles as well? No, Whatnot supplies everything that we need. Um which is just amazing. This only God can make that happen. Um, I would say, yeah, we haven't supplemented anything other than like asking you guys for help when we were struggling. But now that my shows are like picking up, we're creating momentum financially, which is just so wonderful. Love that you guys work as a team. My hubby owns a bread route and help him part-time. I do Whatnot for fun because I love thrifting. That's awesome. I love that. Rapid fire Sonia is um during my show, if an item does not sell, I will put it on the rack. After I run through my entire rack, I will do rapid fire. And this is a like, I don't know, a process I coined as rapid fire, and it's just kind of like spread through the vintage community, and it's so cool because it works, like rapid fire works. So at the end of the show, after I've gone through all the items, I'll take everything that didn't sell that's still on the rack, and I'll rapidly run them. So I'll show the front, I'll show the back, I'll show the tag, and then if someone says run, I will run it immediately. So I'm just like turning over items, and there's not like a theatrical experience with it. It's just kind of like last call. If you want it, get it. Rapid. Oh, okay. Thank you, Cassie. I didn't see that you just explained it to her. um, but yeah, I feel like the less fancy and the less creative you get, the better you're gonna grow, because your business can't be built off of the pizzazz, you know? Like, I feel like a lot of sellers get super creative, but when you get creative, your data becomes skewed and you're moving numbers and you're moving variables in your data, and you can't see what's actually happening because you're constantly moving your metrics and you're constantly moving with creativity. But for me and my husband, like, we are just like, we are focusing on the basics, we're focusing on getting better, and the only way to do that is by creating a system, a step by step process for everything in your business. That way, when you're like, whoa, why did my viewership go up? Why did this happen over here? Why did this item bid up? You have all the same data. And so you're able to identify what is happening, you know? Yes. Thank you so much. Have to get ready. Yes, I hear you. I hear you. First show tonight. Please come. I will love that. Love it. I'm gonna bookmark it. Oh, well, actually, I'm not. I will bookmark it after I'm done. Then it becomes a high standard yet to maintain too. So true. And then you're always like kind of you're constantly trying to pump out um you're constantly trying to pump out creativity instead of like focusing on the process. And I understand, like, my husband and I can seem like very extreme to some people. Like, we can seem like, wow, you guys are really taking this super seriously. And it's like, yeah, because this is our only income and live reselling is going to blow up. And I do not want to be, I want to make the ship, like the ship is going to sail off and I want to be on it because that's when, like when Jeffree Star blew up on YouTube and in interviews, they're like, so what did you do to be a successful YouTuber? He's like, I showed up every single day. I posted a video and YouTube took off. But I did everything that I needed to do to have a successful YouTube channel, which was to be consistent. Yes, I'm on a ship. Let's get on that ship. My daughter's telling me, sorry, whoops. All right. What is she saying? Hold it. I can't see the chat because I opened my keyboard. My daughter's telling me reselling is not a business. Reselling is 100% a business, or else I would not be sitting here talking to you guys. It's totally a business. Yeah, it totally is a business, but you have to run it like a business. It's not a business if you're not running it like one. This is so helpful. I've been getting so overwhelmed to even do a first show because I've been feeling like it's not enough instead of just simple. Yes. And the enemy will use that, like, you need to do it better. You need some more fancy things. You need better items. You didn't do it well enough. Like, he will use that against us, and he'll completely stifle our creativity and our ability to do this. Yes, you're going to crush it. And so it's so valuable to just follow your system, like design it. What I would do is there are 5 things that you do in your business. You source, you stage, you ship. What are they? Priscilla? The 5 S's. Source, stage. Not only is it a business, it's a whole community and a movement. It's so true. Sonia, so true. The people closest to us often have a hard time seeing us doing something different than what they are used to. Yes, harmony. To be completely honest, like, unfortunately, my church community is like very confused by what we are doing. And like the response to it has not been like the best. Um, and the Lord, the Lord just keeps saying, I've called you for more. I've called you for more. I've called you for more. Yeah, what is it? What are they, Priscilla? We gotta be good students. My husband would be so disappointed in me right now. The 5 S's. Stage, stream, ship, share. Let's go. Let's go, baby. I'm the wife of the creator of that, and I didn't even know. So And when you're doing those things, when you're sourcing, you need to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. So I would write in a list, this is what I'm going to do when I am sourcing. These are the things that I'm not going to do while I'm sourcing. Then it's staging the item to be sold. What does that step by step process look like? Are you washing it? Are you steaming it? Are you hanging it up? Are you folding it? Are you, you know what I mean? Like every aspect of your business needs to have a process. If it doesn't, you're not going to be able to read your data. Your data is going to be so skewed and all over the place, and you're not going to know what actually is making it so that you're winning. You know, I feel a sneeze. Feel a sneeze coming on. Any more questions? I totally understand that, but just know the right people will show up. We're here to support one another. This is a community. It's so true. And I've never seen a community be so loving and so supporting. Like, it's truly, truly beautiful. How do you find items to be able to afford a $1 start? So many items in my area are $7 plus a piece. So true. Um, I don't do $1 starts. I used to because I already owned the inventory and I already made a profit. I used to sell on eBay, Etsy, Poshmark, and Depop, and so when I found Whatnot, I took all 7,000 listings off of all of my platforms and I sold those items for $1. But I couldn't do $1 starts right now. My cost per piece is too high. So definitely consider your cost per piece, but you can get creative to lowering your cost per piece. If you have a bins and the prices are reasonable, you should 100% source at the bins. Like it should be your only priority to source at the bins. Spread word of mouth and let friends know you are open to donations and cleaning out their junk. So true. I've done that multiple times. During COVID, I put a post on Facebook and I told them just put it on your porch and I'll come pick it up. And people hit me up left and right. I had inventory up the wazoo and it was all free. Do you sell on eBay or other platforms? Fashions runs deep. No. I took all of my inventory off of all other platforms. I think only focusing on one platform, if you want to be successful at live selling, you have to only be live selling. That is my opinion because when you go sourcing, your sourcing is going to become skewed because you're like, "Oh, well, I'll pick this up because I can list it on eBay. I'll try and sell it on Whatnot, but if it doesn't sell, then I'll sell it on eBay." So sourcing, you don't have like that direct pinpoint to sourcing if you're sourcing for multiple platforms. I've just found that the best way um to win at live reselling is to only do that because you're going to make way different decisions than you are if you're doing multiple different reselling avenues, and also the data is so hard to read because you're having to do so many different things. Yeah, you got to focus on like what it is that you're doing, and then by doing that, you're going to see the data for what it is. And I feel like I might be like a little out of my element right now that most people may not. I love you so much. Stop tipping me. Stop it. You already tipped me, but I love you. Thank you. Um, but I just know that like to some people, my husband and I might seem like very extreme or like overly obsessive, but like to be an expert or a pro in anything, you have to be. Like Kobe Bryant was not Kobe Bryant. Thank you so much, Jen. You wonderful woman. Thank you so much. All tips are going to help us purchase a family vehicle. So I think we're at like $200. Thank you so much. Um, and so, yeah, it's just so incredibly important to become hyper focused on the thing that you want to win at and to like cut out all the other bullshit and the distractions so that you can move forward with clarity. And another thing, traditional reselling, I name traditional reselling as like selling on eBay, Etsy, Poshmark, Depop, any of these platforms as traditional reselling. And in traditional reselling, my sell through rate, what like my best sell through rate in a month was 8%. Okay. And if you don't know what a sell through rate is, you take your total number of listings and you thank you so much. Thank you for your generosity. You're just how wonderful. Thank you so much. And on Whatnot, my sell through rate is 85%. 85% total. Like, that's amazing. Nowhere else are you going to list it. Thank you. You're so. Tiana, you don't. You stinker. I love you. Thank you so much. My sell through rate is 85%. When I was traditional reselling, my best sell through rate was 8%. You cannot compete with these numbers. You're not going to be able to do that. You're not going to be able to successfully sustain either. Thank you. I love you. I love you so much. Um and so like it is so important for you to focus on what it is that you're trying to do. And I feel like you just can't compete with live selling. And I promise you, eBay, Poshmark, all of these platforms are developing live selling. They're like, oh man, we got to get on this because this is going to blow up. You know, Jambool, all of these live platforms. Cassie, I love you. Sorry, private conversation is happening and they're just making fun of me. I am focusing on Whatnot because I feel like this is the best opportunity for me to make the most money to buy a farm and a bigger house for our foster children. Harmony, if you're looking to go pro, you should join our private coaching group. The link is in my bio on Instagram. We do a coaching call every Monday night. We currently have 7 members. 7 members, it's $27 a month. You can cancel anytime. If you sign up for $27 a month right now, your rate will never increase. My husband is working on an incredible video series that takes someone from zero to becoming a live seller. So, someone who's never live sold, we're building a digital course for them to be able to um, grow into a live reseller quickly because you're going to follow the systems and steps that have been proven by us to follow. So, if you're interested, we would love to have you. Any of you are welcome. The link is in my bio of my Instagram. And we also, the $27 a month also includes private coaching. So, if you're like right before a show, you want some critique, I can critique your show. I can critique, we just want to help. But, and we just want to be able to grow a community where we're all helping each other. Priscilla is on our coaching program and she just had her best month in her reselling career. Her best month. So I would definitely say it is helpful and useful. And also, you learn so much faster by someone who has already done it. You know what I mean? Sorry, I'm still scrolling. Um, Yes. What does she say? Oh, yes. I listen, Priscilla and we both want a big plot of land. We want to be homesteading, and my husband does too. So I love that plan, and I love that you're a foster parent. That is so sweet. Yeah. Tiana. Yes. It's so beautiful. I love it. I love it so much. How often do I source? I source 2 days out of the week. I source Tuesday and Wednesday. Thursday is optional. But lately, the 2 days I get my kids show and I get my vintage women's show in 2 days. But I'm only at the bins. I source at the bins from 9 to 6 p.m. So I've already automatically, um, like I'm there all day. So just so you know. A sanctuary for animals to get them out of the shelter. That's so smart. You should do that. That's so smart. Why don't we have those? You know? Why don't we have those already? That's so cool. I love that. That's a really good why. It's a really good why. Also, knowing your why is super important. Like, you got to know why you're doing something. You know what I mean? Because when it gets hard, when you struggle, when you're on the struggle bus, you got to be like, this is why I'm doing this. You got to look at that picture. You got to look at this picture of your beautiful babies and you got to be like, I'm doing it for them. You know? You got to know that why. Because when it gets hard, that's what if our bins are horrible and we can't sell at $5? Yeah, Gan, you can do whatever works for you. Do the lowest starting bid that your cost per piece will allow. So if your cost per piece is $5, then start your show at 7. That way you're in profit. It's not very much profit, but in the beginning, you're not going to be profitable. And I think a lot of people think that just because they have a valuable item, it should sell for more, or it should sell for big money, or they should be profitable the moment they start going live. But the thing is like you have to pay your dues. You have to go live, you have to pay your due, and sometimes losing money is part of that due. But with Whatnot, the return buyer rate is insane. So in the beginning, have your focus be I just want to create repeat buyers. I'm just trying to go live long enough and give a valuable item for low enough that people will want to come back. My return buyer rate is 65%. 65% of all people who shop from me have shopped from me before. So, like, understanding that in the beginning of your, yes, value proposition, yes, in the beginning, you have to understand, like, you have to lose money. You're going to lose money. There's no way to be 100% profitable all the time, even now with me. So it's just super important to remember like you need to put the time and the money in and understand that you need to um, put the time and the money in. What are reasonable prices at the bins? I haven't been to them yet, but plan to very soon. My bins prices is if it's over 50 pounds, it's $1.99. So I do super well with that. Pris, what are your per pound? Or like I don't even think you get over like 100 pounds, do you? Um, Priscilla's bins are over an hour away, and she gets her booty there every week because her cost per piece is amazing. Thank you for sharing my life. Did you calculate your buyer return rate or is that found in seller analytics? I believe my husband calculated it. If you guys are interested in joining the live reseller pro coaching group, it's a private coaching group. It's $27 a month if you're interested. We have 7 members and we actually have a digital tracker for your business that we share every single month. Priscilla is currently using it. My husband built it out. Priscilla is using the more advanced tracker, but we do have a very easy, simple tracker that will tell you all of this. It's just a Google sheet. You make a copy of it. All the formulas and everything are already in there, and you just drop your numbers from each show in there. You don't have to do anything. Yeah, yeah. The fee is just so that our time that we're investing into this, that we're making money off of it. All the sellers that started a year ago, sling $5, are now having their items bid up. Yep, I've seen it in so many examples. Right here. Right here. Because the also, I don't it took me a while to not care. Yeah, I remember you were there. it took me a while to not care about what an item went for. I've had to like really work at not romanticizing items. A lot of resellers will get caught up in not wanting to live resell or not continue to live resell because they're so emotionally attached to the item, and they're like, but I can get more for this on Poshmark. Yeah, but also on Poshmark, they're going to take 20% and it's going to be listed for 6 months and you have to sit on that inventory. I can take that one item, make $5 off of it, turn it over, find 5 pieces at Goodwill, sell those before your $120 item sells. And I guarantee I've made more money than you. So you got to look at it for what it is. And the turnover rate is insane. My sell through rate is 85%. Like, you cannot do that on Poshmark. You cannot do that on Etsy. You can't do that anywhere other than live selling. I sold 12,000 items out of this house. I bring them home, I hang them up, I go live, they sell, and I just repeat the process. And all you have to do to get to where I am is have a system, have a process, know your numbers, and show up. And you can do this too. Yes, that's right. That's right. Show up. How much? I don't have any. I have like what was left over from my kids show, which I think was like 30 items, and then I sold out yesterday. So I only have like 30 items from my kids show. I know. I know. You and Julianne, if I were you, I would start things lower. I would start things lower. You'll move them quicker and you'll make your money back quicker. Like, find the items that you're like, I do not care what these sell for. I don't care. When you have that I don't care attitude, something happens. Something shifts. You're a buyer. But we love you. Everyone in the reselling community loves you. You're a very, very, you have such a light about you. And when you pop into people's shows, you're just like very magnetic. People light up when they see your name pop up. It's really, really wonderful. And I was watching when that drama went down in kids with the bamboo pieces, and you were super chill. You handled that super well. They take my money. You're sending, thank you so much. Oh my gosh, I love you. Thank you so much, Holly. I have so much anxiety going live. Any advice? Yes. The Hey Grace, how are you doing? Okay. I'll tell you, Chris. Oh, okay. I love you. What are you gonna do? Sorry, I'm just being a mom. She's been watching TV. What are you gonna do? Okay. um, yeah. Let me see. Let me see. What was I saying? Oh, yes, anxiety. So, what anxiety is, you will. I'll tell you. I did. I did. Thank you. I really love it. I really love it. I did it myself. I tried to do like a money piece and I need to fix it. I like didn't do it super even here, but I'll fix it later. Thank you so much, you guys. Thank you. I encounter too much good kids to pass up sometimes. I know. If you guys, I love it. I love it. If y'all want to send it to me, I will take it. Um so the anxiety comes from the unknown. So the way that you're going to root and ground yourself is what I was talking about. Yeah, she's precious. They're saying hi. Say hello.
Hi.
She's a precious girl. She's precious. She's not feeling super good today. She got a little bit of a fever and like a sore throat. The anxiety comes from the unknown. So what you need to do is you need to create the known so you can fall on that when the anxiety comes up. So what I mean by that is a controllable win. You got to know your intention of going live. We have someone in our group, and her controllable win was that she was going to go live for 1 hour. That was it. Her first live, she sold $300 in revenue. That's amazing. And all she did was she created that controllable win, which was I'm just going to go live for 1 hour and see what happens. If you are a new seller, use the promote feature. Use both of them. Use both of the promote features. There's no reason why you should not be promoting every single one of your shows, especially when no one's using it. No one is using the promote feature. And all you do is you put in a little bit of money. You don't have to do a lot. Whatnot's like, in order for you to be promoted for 1 hour, you need to put in $20. No, you don't. I've been using the feature for over a year and I only put in like $5 for 4 hours. I paid $20 for them to promote me and I get a lot of new buyers and a lot of new traction that way. But I would say the anxiety comes from the unknown. So make sure that before you go live you have a system. So you're like, okay, my store is loaded, I'm going to do 50 items, all of them are going to be measured in the listing, and there's going to be one photo. You have to define what it is that you're doing, because the anxiety comes from the unknown of being like, I don't know how many people are going to show up. I don't really know the order of my show. I don't really know if these items are good. But you have to kind of just like put all that aside and be like, okay, this is what I'm doing on my show. I'm going to run through every item and run it for 10 seconds. Priscilla, before she was in our coaching group, I love you. Yeah, let's go, Julie. Let's do it. Um, before Shoot, I forgot what I was going to say because Julie was giving me money. I forgot. What was I saying? Do you remember? um, yes, the unknown, the unknown. So create your known. Create your known by giving yourself a system and a framework to work within and a controllable win that you can say, because I did that, yes. Priscilla, before she was in the program, in our coaching program, I did a Q&A. She was in the Q&A and I just simply said, like, if I was a reseller, a new seller, and I was live selling, I would do the controllable wins. And Priscilla, her next show, like crushed her show because she was like, I did it in order. I ran every item for 10 seconds and I did my best women's show. So just having that small amount of structure and a small amount of like direction, it will improve things so much. You got to be thinking of the buyer. Like, think of everything that they're doing every single day. Some of them are moms, some of them are students, some of them are on their phones constantly, some of them are just, they go to work every day. Like, we're all bombarded with constant information. And if you are selling items and you don't have an intention for your buyer, they're not going to want to stay. The last thing I want to do after a 9-hour shift of work and taking care of kids and then hopping on Whatnot and having a seller be like, what are you looking for? Do you want this? Like, you got to have intention for your buyer because they want to go to a show that has order, that has all the information they need. They don't want an obstacle to buy your item. They want it to be easy. And be mindful of your voice, be mindful of tonality, be mindful of, yes, and ads. So true. Be mindful of the tone of your voice when you're speaking. Like, no one wants to listen to, like, hey, what's up, guys? Like, don't change the tone of your voice. Keep your voice the same. A lot of times people are listening, they have headphones in, or like, you just want your show to be as pleasant as possible. And Julia, I couldn't help it. I was like, what, like a valley girl. Sorry, got distracted, but you were saying paid ads for show are worth it. Yes, if you're new, I would do paid ads every single live. You don't have to pay it. They'll take it out of your earnings from that show. If you don't sell anything, it'll just, your account will sit negative. Once you sell something, they will take it out of your earnings. So you don't need to worry about like paying it up front. They'll take it out of your earnings if you sell something. But I wouldn't do very much. Like you could promote a show for like $10, $5 on the boost feature, and then $5 for 1 hour on the promotion feature. Ooh, love that. That's good. They well of of your earnings, about 12% plus a 30-cent processing fee. Yeah, they take about 12%, which is way better than Poshmark. Poshmark takes 20%. My reasoning behind low starts is it gets people into my show. I want people to be enticed by a low starting price, and I my cost per piece is low enough that if it sells for $1, I make a really good profit. And I started out doing $1 starts. When I after I had JJ, I started out doing $1 starts. What are you doing? Yeah, I just got lipstick on you. Yeah.
I was just wondering if I could go 10.
I'm sorry, you don't feel good. Yeah, I'm sorry. Okay, sorry. Just being a mom. Um, but I did $1 starts in the very beginning when I came back after having JJ, and my reasoning was the same. Like I wanted to entice people to come in, and I wanted people to get a good deal. So what happens is when you start an item that's like amazing for $5 and that person gets it for $5, what happens is it's reciprocity. So reciprocity is like human nature. When you get something of value for a low price, you want to go, you feel like you owe that person something. So the reason why I do low starts is because it creates that reciprocity. And in that reciprocity, you gain return buyers. The name of the game is how do I get my buyers to come back? And if they know they're going to get a low start and they're going to get an amazing item, they're going to come back. And the goal is to get enough return buyers that love your items and your pricing that they bid against each other. So in the beginning, you're going to sell it for $5. You're going to sell it for $1. You're going to sell it for a minimal amount. So if you understand that and you understand, like, okay, I am paying into my business to get market research, I am receiving um, I am giving value so that they are willing to come back. So that is why I do low starts, because it's the best way to get a return buyer, and people can get I've sold Johnny Was for like $12. You know, I've sold like vintage designer for $5. Like if they know that, if they know, oh my gosh, I have to go to Jenica's show today. I have to, because I don't know what I could get for $5. That that constant reiteration of your buyer is super important, but the only way to do that is to be able to give them a deal. And by doing that, you're going to get a return buyer. And that's the whole goal. The whole goal is how do I get more people into my show? And it's like if you look at low starts as marketing, it's marketing. You're willing to pay into your business for it to succeed. You're willing to let an item go for $1 over what you paid for it, and you pay your dues, you keep doing it, you are gonna get return buyers and it will grow. I like that you're saying about attaching, yeah, attaching to an item. I didn't realize that it was what I do. Yeah, becoming too attached to items. So what I've had to do, sure baby, right here though in the sun. Okay. Um, do the bins have houseware? Yes, they do have houseware. They have hard goods. So they have bins that are all hard goods. They also have books too. Hi, Evermore. So after a while, you go up in price. No, I will always do $5 starts. You're shook? What are you shook about? Oh, that they have house goods? Um, Thank you so much. Kind of thrifty, kind of not. Love that. Thank you so much. Thanks for these valuable. You are so truly welcome. So truly welcome. Yeah, you go. Get your booty in there. I can't believe you've never been to one. They're amazing. Um, so yeah, just making sure that you have a system, that you know what you're doing in each show. Like, anxiety comes when it's the unknown. It's like, how what's it going to be like? What's it going to look like? How many people are going to show up? What is this? And it's like, you just need to create a framework of your show, and you need to create a controllable win. And once you complete that control, yes, and focus, you will be able to not have so much anxiety. But sorry, I lost my train of thought, but low starts, I will always do low starts.
I
So
see.
the the concept of the low start is reciprocity. I want people to get a good deal and they'll come back. Like, it's so valuable. So valuable to give someone a deal, because they're going to come. It's the best marketing you can do. If you come to my show and you're like, I just got whatever brand, a Chanel bag for $5. You're going to tell your friends. You're going to tag your friends. You're going to have people be popping into my show, you know? My share metric on your analytics and whatnot, it will show you how many times your show was shared on every live. And my sharing metric is going up and up and up and up. And I'm so thankful
Oh,
to all of you
awesome.
for creating an environment that people want to come to, because the chat and the chat engagement is so important. Um, if you are starting out,
Oh,
having a mod like your mom, your sister, someone you know on the app modding for you creates momentum. When you hop into a show and there's no comments, so like right now, I someone would pop in and look at this chat, and they're going to pop out because they're like, there's nothing happening here. Granted, this is a way different show. We're doing like Q&A style, so it's not for everyone. Um, but if you have a mod that you've given copy and paste easy instructions to, having a mod just creates a little bit of momentum in your chat, and that you're someone who's taking this seriously, and that person finds your show valuable enough to be a mod, you know? So having a mod is a great tool to use to create momentum. Think of anxiety as the introduction to change. The change is good, and as soon as the beginning, yes, things get comfortable. So true. I do. I'm actually in the works of hiring Carolina. She is thrift store intern. Um, so she will receive a small percentage of all of my earnings, and I'm going to, yeah, we're working out a deal where she is going to be like my main mod for my two shows. And so she's going to it was awesome because I hit her up and she was like, this is crazy because I am literally looking for side jobs because I'm trying to, yeah, I'm trying to she's trying to do something in school and she needs to raise money for it. So it was like perfect. Yeah, Harmony. I mean, if I know Carolina, she is going to be starting a schooling program soon. I think like in May. So I don't know how long she'll be able to do it, Julie. I love it. You got it. I've seen her mod. She's quick and gives accurate info. Yes, and she's so personable. Like, she answers questions for me in the chat. Like, if you can find a good mod and you can utilize them, it's true. It's true. You are. And you have. I'm very grateful for everyone who is willing. I will remember. Don't you worry. Um but yeah, having someone who can keep the chat on point, keep them directed towards the show. Sometimes a chat can like get lost, and they're talking about other things and they're not actually focusing on the show. And sometimes I will have to be like,
mm,
hey, like, focus. We're here to sell clothes, you know? All right, my sweet, precious boy is awake. I was just doing this while he napped. But are there any last minute questions that you guys have? I would love to answer them. If not, no worries. I just figured I would hop on here. It's been like so long since I've done a Q&A. You're so welcome. I'm so glad. Co-hosting thoughts. I'm actually doing a co-hosted show on Wednesday, and it's a little bit of a different show. It's Millie's Morning with Millie, so it's like more of a conversational live, and we're actually talking about biblical childbirth. I have 6 kids. I've given birth 5 times naturally, and so we're just gonna be talking about that if anyone's interested. It's a very random topic. I source 2 days a week, and I source from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. What's your goal for the month? My goal for the month is to beat my earnings from the previous month. Last month was my best earnings, and so my goal is to beat those earnings and also to cut out the distractions. Like, I'm going to delete YouTube, I'm going to create and design a structure for my Instagram so I'm not scrolling, and I'm going to take out all the things that are distracting me, because this past like 3 weeks my husband and I have like lost focus of meeting with the Lord every day and just life. So I'm going to focus on that. Let's do it. You should join our coaching group. We can get you there. My husband is so incredibly talented at coaching. Like, this is his gift, to be a teacher. Not a question, but thank you so much for your help. I swear I feel like Spirit led me here. I did. Oh my goodness. I love that. I love that. That's the best. Spirit led business is what it's about. Very interested. Yes, Eliza, in the coaching group or in being a paid mod? I think you meant the coaching group. If any of you are interested in becoming part of our reseller coaching group, it is for live resellers. It is completely designed to help you grow your live reselling business. My Instagram has the link in my bio. My Instagram handle is the same as my Whatnot handle, and y'all can click on the link, create a profile. It's $27 a month. You get private coaching. We do a call every Monday with all of the members. We're also creating more content every day, and you also get the business money, the tracker, so you can track the numbers in your business. Yes, so Gan, kind of. Our coaching call is at 6 p.m. So it would be 8 p.m. your time. And Priscilla and Jess, they're both, yeah, 8 to 10 Monday nights. So they are a bit later. I don't have money this week, but as soon as I can. I love it. I love it. Let's do it. I'll have to make it a family class. Yes. So true. And like, it is very relaxed, you guys. Like, you do not need to be like professional. You can have kids running around. Like, life is busy. I'm in Utah. That beats midnight. Yes. Amen. But any of you are welcome to join. The cool thing about joining right now is you will be grandfathered in at $27 a month. So as our content and our teaching ability improves, we will be increasing the price to $47 and then again to $97. But because you're getting in now, you'll be grandfathered in for $27 a month. And our goal is to really improve over time the group. So you're constantly going to be receiving new and valuable information that will help grow your business. So as the group grows, the content's going to get better. And we have found that there is such a need for this in the reseller space. And the reason why we charge per month is because we want to make sure that the hours and time that we are committing to the group has payment, that we're receiving some sort of financial stability from it, because we've been doing this for almost 6 years, and the Lord has led us through so many different avenues in our business that like we have so much valuable information, and that it's so needed in this space. So many of the big resellers, they have huge followings, but there's no breakdown to their process of why they are successful. It's more of like, look at all these packages that I am shipping out. Look at this sale. Look at, it's very like minimum, it's tactics, it's not strategies, you know? What would you suggest to do first if you already have the inventory? Measure, photograph, post on social. Yes, I have seen a huge bump by posting all my show links for bookmarking in my Instagram stories. Like people don't know I'm going live until they see that Instagram story. A lot of my buyers and a lot of the people who follow me on Whatnot don't use the app regularly, so they're not looking for that show poster. So I use social media. If I'm popping, I would figure out what is sustainable for you and your schedule. If mystery pulls and an unloaded store um works better for your situation and lifestyle, I would do that. If you're able to do um to load the store and put photos, do that. I personally love the mystery of Whatnot, and I don't like seeing what's in people's stores. That's just me. But there are people who love to see what they're buying and they love seeing all the information. But I would 100% measure if you are going to load your store. You're gonna have to measure either way. It's either gonna be in your show or it's gonna be in the store or in your show live, or you're gonna do it beforehand and load your store. So um yeah, you guys, thank you so much for all of the tips. I am so grateful. We currently have like $140 from last night's show towards our vehicle. Whatever I made in this live, thank you so much for just the love and the appreciation. And yeah, I'm gonna run one more giveaway, okay? And it's a $5 Starbucks gift card. And any last questions? I have 5 minutes while the giveaway runs. Thank you so much. Second closet, I appreciate you. Um, any last questions? If you do, speak now or forever hold your peace. I am going to hopefully do a Q&A every Sunday during JJ's nap time. So be sure to bookmark. I have not moved those shows to Sundays. So um just be mindful that the dates on and the time of the Q&A is not correct. I like to move them closer to the actual day that I can do it, but I do want to schedule in these Q&As because I really I just feel like this community needs it. Do you suggest keeping a schedule for live shows? Yes. Well, you want to create, so in the beginning, yes and no. If you can sustainably do a schedule, do it. Um, but the more exposure you get, the better. The more exposure you get in hi Lily, how are you? The more exposure you get on the app, the more people will recognize you and they'll remember you and they'll come back. So Saturdays have become my vintage women shows, and then Friday mornings are my vintage kids show. So I would 100% create a schedule if you can do it, but also like be flexible. If you're like, I want to go live, do it, but keeping a schedule is super important. Is it necessary to change name to more of a business name to start selling? I mean, I don't know if it's necessary. I just already had my name because that's what my reselling business was called. And I don't really have a desire to change it because my daughter's name is Grace and it's named after her. Um, but I would say that's a good question because you're like, if you're trying to create a brand, I would say that it would be useful um, to have a business name and to change it. And also for like tax purposes, things like that. Yes, 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 yes. I would just change your name. Do like a Stephanie, do like a small what is that called? Launch. A small launch. Like build momentum, like book a show a month out, consistently just like plug it in people's chats and just be active on the app and do it on social media, and then do a small launch, do a show where you change your name and you do like a special giveaway, or where you create momentum to a show so that those who know you, they're there for the name change. Like it's like, oh, okay, because I was in that show, now I know who she is. And for a little bit you might have to be like, hey, it's Stephanie, this is my new name. So I think that is super helpful. Of course. Thank you so much. Any other questions while this giveaway runs? My little nugget is awake. But thank you so much for all of the tips.
He's
Wow.
been really quiet,
Let's
Mama.
go, baby.
I think he's still tired. I think
Yeah,
we
he's
need
kind of
some
quiet, huh?
time.
Do you think it's best to do shows daily or less times per week? If you're just starting out, go, 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 go. Go live as much as possible, as much as you can sustain through systems and order. But I went live all the time because it built my customer base. If you can do a schedule, stick to the schedule and have those be like your main scheduled shows. But if you're just starting out, stick to a schedule, but do pop-ups, or like pop-ups aren't super successful, but if you are like, I want to do an extra show this week, do it. The more exposure you get, the more you get. Yeah. Yeah, I've done a lot of marathon shows and I was 6 months pregnant. I did a 12-hour live 6 months pregnant. And it people were like, I can't believe, thank you so much. Thank you. I'm so glad. This is gonna be so fun. The giveaway is running. We also are thinking about doing a reseller meetup from our reseller group. Travel agent, you got it, baby. $5 Starbucks gift card is going to you. Travel agent, will you message me your email? I'm going to send you a digital Starbucks gift card, and it's going to be coming from my husband, Stephen Bruff. People are having difficulty finding it because it's not coming from Jenica, it's coming from Stephen. So just noted. Any other questions, my friends? I got about 2 minutes. But I'm so stoked y'all joined the coaching group. If anyone else is interested, yes. Oh my goodness, I know you are quiet, but I see your name pop in every single show, and I'm so thankful for you. And I love that your E is a backwards 3. It like triggers me to be like, oh, it's travel agent. It's a really good like just like a little twist to your name. You're welcome. But thank you so much, you guys. Y'all, my show last night was so amazing. And I'm so grateful to all of you who show up week after week to want to like hang out with me. It was so good. I'm going to create a reel later today. I have so much footage and I'm just going to create a reel so that I can share it. Yes, you're so welcome. If anyone's interested in joining our private reseller group for $27 a month, you will receive private coaching, group coaching. Also, we have a ton of free resources. We have the show journal uploaded that you can print. We have checklists for sourcing and for going live that we have loaded. We also have previous calls and recordings up. There's lots of free resources if you guys are interested. Yes, the dancing. I've always wanted to dance in a show. And playing Rihanna, I was like, I need to change my music. I gotta find good Christian but like groovy music, because my music, I've been listening to the same playlist for like months and I need to switch it up. I do. I'm dual streaming right now. I'm casting to YouTube and Facebook because I'm like, the more exposure I can get, the better. I mean, no one's watching on either, and that's okay. But over time, people will catch. You know, over time, people will find it on YouTube and they'll subscribe. So I'll take any free exposure I can get. And I'm also doing it on Facebook, which has been fun because my Facebook is like more of my like high school friends and people from childhood, and so it's cool to see them watching and being like, "Oh, this is what she does." Cuz I don't ever post to Facebook. Facebook's for my dad, says Millie. Okay, you guys, thank you so much. I love you all. I'll see you when I see you. Just kidding. I'll see you Friday morning at 8 a.m. I have a vintage kid show. You're so welcome. Thank you. Who should we raid? Let's raid someone. In vintage women's, since that's the category I'm in. Let's raid. I'm so excited. Thank you for joining our group. It's going to be so fun. Okay, so many contemporary. Let's do Mandosaurus. She was in my show last night. She has 15 people. Let's give her some love. I'm pretty sure she is a new seller. Why? There we go. I love you all.